Yes.
Martin handball inside 50. They can finish through Murphy here with some icing on the cake for the Blues. He slots it. And it's been an impressive win for this famous club.
You down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous.
Yes, a big win for the Blues. 31 points down to you, Av.
Yeah, thanks, BT. I'm here with Paddy Cripps. Congratulations, Paddy. You're back on the winners list with a very impressive win here tonight. How proud are you of all the efforts of the boys involved?
Yeah, it was good. Like, we set the tone early with that pressure, and look, we got challenged hard throughout the week, and we deserved it. But you know, good teams respond, and we're on the climb to be a really good team, and we believe that. And the key is in weeks like that, you review hard, but you stick together and you create energy, and we did that. So really proud of the boys. You
definitely have done that tonight, but you lost big Tommy De Koning after quarter time. We saw yourself, we saw Silvani, we saw Kennedy all providing a chop out in the ruck. How proud are you of your midfield just to really dig deep and get the ball moving forward off those hit outs?
Yeah, it was great. Big TDK, he's been really good for us the last few weeks. He's grown in confidence, and you can see the belief in him around the club. Like, he's got a bit of a strut about him now, which you want ruckmans to do. He's big and physical, but to Sauce's credit in the ruck, like, he just competes. That's why we love playing with him. But we knew we had to really lock away their midfield. They were getting first use, but we had the ball to hit the ground, and I thought working ground level and pressure set the game up.
And Harry McKay, he was sensational with 5 goals, but I want to ask you about Charlie Curnow as well. How nice is it to see these two side by side? Blues fans have waited a very long time to see them.
I think we all have. It was just so good this first centre bounce. You see the big boys just straight into the square. It's Harry's had an amazing year. Charlie's he's had a rough 2 years, and everyone loves him around the club because he brings so much energy. And when he kicked that goal and the boys to get around him, you could see how happy he was. But just for all of us to see get around him and bring that energy to him. So it's good now we've got the weekend off, but yeah, we've got 3 games to go. We've got to finish strong.
Yeah, we're so very happy to see him back out there running around. But congratulations, Paddy, a brilliant performance by all.
No, thanks. Cheers, Harry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paddy Cripps, I would love, because he's a warrior duck and he'll never lean into the excuse bag, but you'd love to privately just say to him, what is the percentage of your body over the last 6 weeks? Where is it at?
One of the first times I've seen him not strapped up like a racehorse tonight. I mean, he had no strapping on those knees. But look, like I said, I honestly think he's been pretty solid this year. He hasn't reached that absolute level. I don't think he's covering the ground. That's been spoken about at length. But like you said, we don't know.
Oh, exactly.
We did hear earlier in the year that he had some ailments, but how serious or how much they're still affecting him, we don't know.
Do tell you what, Hunter Clark there, while you guys were talking about that, I had the glass on him. He looks as white as a ghost. Teammates are consoling him. He's just come back from a broken jaw. I don't think it's good news for him, JB, just looking at those pictures.
That is not good. He's a very talented young player, Hunter Clark, and we need all of them playing the game, so we'll keep an eye on him.
So Carlton have won 4 of their last 6 losses to Geelong and North, JB. They've got Gold Coast, Port and GWS to finish their year. Be a strong second half of the year if they could finish with 2 more wins out of those 3 games at least, wouldn't it?
Well, a very good response from the Carlton Football Club after a terribly disappointing performance last week. 31 points the margin in the end, and comprehensive. That margin is flattering to St Kilda, make no mistake about that. They banged on 5 goals in the last quarter, got back to 24 at one stage. Mark Murphy kicks the last one of the game, 31 points. Comprehensive victory, Johnny Brown and Nick Revolt. And, well, when you're looking for a response, we know the pressure that David Teague's under, we know the pressure the football club's under. I think it's pretty emphatic tonight, and that's without mentioning St Kilda, and they will now suffer some similar heat.
Absolutely. When they've had the opportunity, St Kilda, they've failed the test this year to jump into that top 8. But well done to Carlton for bouncing back. The heat was well and truly on them and obviously on David Teague. So they responded to their coach, and that's a good sign for David Teague, that emotionally he was able to get them up, Gaz. So you can say they were playing for him tonight.
Yeah, it is just this whole review when you're doing it mid-season. It's prone to some ups and downs, Nick Revolt. This week, as opposed to last week, they're all pretty happy with the coach.
Yeah, you would like to think, though, the review was going to be able to withstand, 1 week of worth of performances.
Either good or bad.
Good or bad, absolutely. Because otherwise you're only really getting fingernail deep.
Yeah. They'll enjoy this. Nice to have Charlie Curnow back. The most important thing is that man is there. He's standing upright. He's healthy. And he's going to sing the song for the first time as a player for a couple of years. Welcome to Retro Round. We've had a quick change. The boys have got into the... I pulled this one out from the old footy show days. Actually, you had a bit of that in the footy show days.
I did too.
You rolled in that.
Oh, no! And you've still got your teeth in from your mad bod Mike, whatever it was.
It looks all right.
We're here, the post-game brought you the mighty Ford Ranger. I think you look pretty sharp too.
Yeah, happy with this.
Yeah.
You're going to take it home to the farm, Gaz? That can be your work here after we finish tonight.
Oh, dear. Let's get stuck into it. And we touched on it then ever so briefly. So this is the Carlton Football Club who are going through a review, a much publicised review. We believe that it's close to being finished, if not finished. It's been handed in. At any day over the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's David Teague's fault, or David Teague's got a good handle on the group. I'm not sure where it sits right now. What did you make of the performance tonight, and what does it mean going forward, do you think?
Well, I think listening to all of the commentary about the review that's been coming out of Carlton, they've provided at times that end of July date. So even last week we were sort of scrambling, weren't we? Like, how much did that really poor performance last week impact? We were told 80% of the work had already been done, and whereas the preceding 3 weeks had won 3 out of 4, and you felt like you got to a point where David Teague was pretty safe and things were looking a bit better. Mm-hmm. You would hope that it doesn't actually mean that much, because the review, the depth that they would go to a review this big in all facets of the football department would not be influenced too heavily either way by a really bad result like we saw last week or a really good result.
But last week's result would be... That would have been taken into heavy consideration.
It would have been taken into consideration, absolutely. That's why the response tonight was so critical.
Yeah.
I think particularly in light of the news today.
Let's have a look at the numbers. These are retro blues. These are the blues of the halcyon days, 95 blues, if you don't mind. So it's their second best score for the season. The accuracy, I mean, gee whiz, look at that, 18 goals, 4. How many times do we talk about that?
Just on that too, Gaz, their third lowest amount of scoring shots tonight for Carlton.
Is that right?
Shows how important accuracy is, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% it does. The points from turnover there, that is a massive number there. Points conceded from turnover, they conceded
83 last week.
That's the best number, because I think the other numbers are all really contingent on, aside from pressure, are all contingent on being accurate.
The bottom number, the pressure number, was pretty important.
The pressure and the points conceded, because that's been the sticking point all year. Is, we spoke about on the couch that little grab, that mindset of, well, if the opposition kick 15 goals, we'll kick 16.
Yeah.
So the offensive side of the game, I don't think that's ever been the question mark.
Doesn't have to be coached.
No, that's right.
The defensive aspects are going to be coached harder. We looked at it at half-time. Looked like a more one-on-one accountability from a defensive point of view, and the numbers also reflect on that. That it's just a caution. I don't think if you're a Carlton supporter, you wouldn't be too worried about that. That's just Charlie Curnow doing his precautionary work. He finished the game, got out okay without any problems. Sam Walsh is having a hell of a year, Brownie. I don't know whether you mentioned it on air or not, but he just keeps getting better and better.
Beauty.
Number 1 ranked player again tonight, but over the course of a long period of time now.
Yeah, he's a magnificent mover. I played footy against his old man. He certainly moves better than his old man, that's for sure. He was fantastic tonight, leading player on the ground, making a late run of the Brownlow medal, and it does help if his team wins, so you're more likely to get 3 votes on that night. But his work rate, he's up there with Simon Black. I think Simon Black was, Nigel Lappin, the two hardest working players that I've seen on a footy field. This man, for a young age, has maturity beyond his years. He obviously hit some targets tonight, and I feel as if he's been, you talk about effort. He gives four-quarter effort every week. And he's the one player you don't have to worry about. He was magnificent tonight, even though he was tagged. And there's been question marks on him getting tagged this year.
I think if you went back through his footy from whenever he first started, effort wouldn't have been an issue. He's one of those kids that just tries and tries and tries. The number 1 rated player in the AFL for the last month. What he's adding, though, is some layers to his footy. So the development and the linear graph of he's added inside this year in a big, big way. And in the last few weeks, he started to hit the scoreboard. So 3 goals tonight, a couple of genuine first-up assists. That means that's just a player who's continuing to grow.
Good kicks inside 50.
I mean, Bontempelli's he's done that as well over the years, and now he's a real dangerous offensive threat, as is the man we're about to speak to. This is the key forward mafia, they call it here. Revolt and Brown, I don't get a look in, but Harry McKay will if he continues on jagging goals like he did tonight. Big H, well done and welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Good to get the win.
Nice, lazy 5. But there was a whole different feel about this side today to last week. Can you help us explain that to your fan group?
Yeah, we're obviously really disappointed after last week. It wasn't the game we wanted, and we didn't want to play like that. But to be fair, we had a really good review. And we moved on pretty quick, and the energy throughout the week was really strong. So we knew we had to turn up today against an outfit that was going to be pretty strong. And I thought from the first quarter we competed really hard, tackled hard, and we were good enough to run over the top in the end. So, yeah, pretty proud.
A simpler answer to that question, Gary. No Harry, no Carlton last week. That was the answer. I can't believe you didn't go with that, Harry. What's going on? Were you dodging your brother last week, mate?
Well, coincidentally, the toe's all good this week, Brownie. So, no, just bad luck it was in the end.
Hey, Harry, can you take us inside the review? So, we've got retro around here and reviews in the 90s. I'm sure Gaz were pretty strong, were they?
Very, very, very confronting, Nick.
Yeah. So how strong are we talking? Like, what did it look like?
Well, it was mostly player driven. So obviously the coaches got some clips organised and had a few things we had from the game. But yeah, it was heavily player driven. The leaders and pretty much everyone that played were really stern on each other. We just showed some clips that weren't acceptable at the Carlton Football Club, and everyone put their hand up that said that wasn't good enough, and then we moved on pretty quick. So just some honest conversations, Roo, and then we got the energy back and trained really well. So.
Anything in the goal kicking tonight, mate? You guys were extremely accurate. 18 goals, 4. Is that the culmination of a lot of hard work over the last few weeks, or just luck, or better shots?
Oh, sorry, mate. I guess you never go out to miss, and as forwards, it's part of our craft, and we work on it really hard during the week. But I guess, especially the last probably 2 weeks, it's really hurt us. So all the forwards and midfields, to be fair, have gone away and worked really hard, and I guess it just came together today. But you guys would know, you have your good days and your bad days, and I guess today was just a good day in front of the goals.
These two don't think they had a bad day, Harry. Just don't mention that to these two blokes.
Hey, Harry, we just saw the Coleman medal stats roll across the screen. I'm not sure if you've got a screen in front of you, and I'm sure you do know that you're 11 in front.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
I had no idea, Roo. No idea.
Mate, have you got your eye on it at all? Like, is it something that you can... And don't give us I'm taking it 1 week at a time, but surely now you got a lead like that in the Coleman medal. Surely that'd be a good feather in your cap.
Yeah, obviously it'd be something nice to look back on to get at the end of the year, but we've still got, 3 games left. There's a lot of good forwards in form. Look at Tom Hawkins, Jack Rewalt, even the King boys playing really good footy. So I reckon the second you start thinking about the end result and the end of the year, you're getting a bit of trouble. So I know it sounds cliche, but just 1 week at a time. Play good mates footy and we'll see what happens.
What it was like having Charlie back. You look so much more imposing when the two of you are down there in that forward line, but just looked like everyone enjoyed having him out there.
Yeah, Charlie brings so much energy. You can't help but have a smile on your face when he's out there. He's put in a lot of hard work and he's had some tough times along the way, but to see him out here and playing footy again was awesome. I love playing with him and he brought so much energy for us tonight.
These two next to me, they have the key forward mafia. Are you aware of that at all? Have you seen their work on Friday Night Footy?
Of course he has.
Yes. I'll say yes, yep.
No, he hasn't.
Come on, Harry.
I don't watch too much footy. No. I'll say yes.
Harry, every week we give out free lessons on Friday night. If you're not playing, tune in, mate.
All right, I'll tune in for the last 3 weeks, fellas.
Oh, come on. Coleman's in the bag.
After Friday night footy always was great when you had a good win and you kicked a nice little bag yourself. What's on for the rest of the weekend there, Big H?
No, not too much, Gary. We've got the VFL playing tomorrow, so we'll sneak down and have a look at that. But, yeah, with 3 games to go, just get the body right and, can put the feet up after that. But pretty low-key, mate.
You played a very straight bat, my friend. Well done. You're sensational again tonight.
He's going to the tunnel. Green card to the tunnel
tonight. It's a bit different to what Kingy was saying. Kingy said they go missing for 72 hours.
Not Harry.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
He's a professional. Hey, good on you, H. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries, guys. Have a good weekend.
Good on you, big Harry McKay. That's
awesome.
That's 2 from 2. 2 blokes never heard who you were. Who did we have last week?
They're just a bit.
Charlie Dixon.
Charlie Dixon didn't even know you were.
No, he genuinely had no idea what we were talking about.
Me through the week. He said, who are those 2 roosters you're with?
Well, we might need to spread the word.
I think we've got
a marketing campaign this week, Gary.
Gary, put it on your socials for us.
Dressing up.
If I had dressing
up. Don't lie. I saw you got a little Instagram account.
Hey, Sam Walsh. We're talking about Sammy Walsh and what sort of year he's had. So you can talk all sorts of things, but what about some defensive accountability? Is it just beyond anyone to go with him?
Well, we showed it, didn't we? He's the #1 rated player in the competition over the last month. So you know what you're coming up against coming in. And St Kilda tried to tag him. They tried to tag him with Seb Ross, but not sure what... Like, you have goal side position on a player who's just about as good as anyone delivering the ball inside 50. You get what you deserve. And then here, OK, you know it's a team tag. When you find yourself on him, see him through. Don't go running in chasing the footy trying to get a kick yourself. He gets to the smart position, he hits the scoreboard again. So, yeah, there's a lot of... He worked his way into the game, Sam Walsh, but I thought St Kilda gave him some liberties today to be able to just go and find it.
So let's talk about St Kilda. We put it on the line pre-game, so we understood where Carlton were at, and St Kilda's form hadn't been great, but they hadn't had as much heat as Carlton coming into this game. But they, as you pointed out, win this game against an opponent that has been struggling big time, and they're inside the 8 at round 20.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you said their form hadn't been great coming into the game. I actually thought it had been pretty good. So they had a really good month. In the last 2 weeks against Port Adelaide and West Coast, they lost in close games that they could have won. So they were thereabouts, but...
OK without winning.
But any time there's been expectation, I think this year, this side's really struggled to handle.
Why?
I think there's a fragility still within this group. Yeah, so they haven't handled the expectation clearly at the start of the year when a lot of people were talking about them taking another step. And then you get to the back end, they've had opportunities week after week after week to work their way into the 8, and they just haven't been able to capitalise.
Is the fragility attached to not having both ruckmen out there? Because the story for them, St Kilda, this year, it's been a clear difference when Ryder and Marshall play together, and when they don't, they're win-loss.
Well, guess what? You had plus 57 hit-outs today. So you had ruck dominance today, and that translated to plus 3 clearances. So at what point, when you've got that sort of dominance in the ruck, do you think, you know what, let's just start surging the ball. Let's try something different. Let's be inventive. There was nothing. So, yeah, I understand it, but Paddy Ryder's the wrong side of 30. You know, to hang your hat on, he's playing very, very good footy. But if you're talking about taking the next step as a group,
that's a fragility.
You can't be relying on a plus 30.
So there's a lack of imagination around the middle, I thought, in terms of Marshall's dominance. So you're rucking against Jack Silvani and Matthew Kennedy in the end with Tom DeConing off the ground, and they were not able to gather or gain any ascendancy whatsoever. So I reckon that was a big loss.
Especially in the third quarter. And they really gapped them, didn't they? They got out to that match-winning lead in the third quarter, and they had goals from centre bounces. And so that was the critical time against Silvani and against Kennedy.
So is it personnel driven? Is it a lack of leadership? I mean, these are... I think some of the heat that's been on Carlton now gets transferred surely.
Leadership goes.
Yeah. But as Jack Steele aside.
Yeah, I think so.
Dougal Howard off the ground from a back point of view.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at the next wave coming through. So it's the Rowan Marshalls, it's the Jack Steeles. I think they're the ones that have really got to pick this group up now and run with it. Righto.
The Keyforth Mafia hasn't exactly taken off. What about the coffee with Brownie? Is that Has that been resonating?
We just spoke about it. We just spoke about it. You've stole me thunder, Gary.
What?
I think it's worth backing over, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to have a busy...
What do you mean?
Well, we're going to buy a coffee machine, Gary. But you're not just a coffee, because we're going to buy the coffees for 2 blokes this week.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Rowan Marshall and Paul Hunter.
Sorry.
Mate, you just spent 5 minutes talking about my men who I'm having a coffee with.
Think on
you're
the
paying
run,
for
mate.
coffee this
Change
week.
it up.
You've already had it by the sound.
Can't you find someone else in there?
I can't on the fly. I'm not that good, Gary.
All right,
I'm not a TV pro. I haven't been in the game for 30 years like you. Who else? Who else are going to...
Just pick another name, Brownie. Doesn't really matter. Billings missed the goal from 15 metres out.
Yeah.
Grab him and have a...
No. Max King. Come on, Maxie. You started off with 3 and then you went missing.
Yeah, that was a very good match-up. That was our marquee match-up before the game, and King kicked 3, and then Wiedering was arguably the best 4 or 5 players on the ground.
Don't you hate that as a key forward, though, when you kick 3 early ones, you think, oh, geez, I've got a bag coming tonight. Then you don't sniff it for the rest of the night.
That's a good segment, Brownie.
No. Hey, that and the key forward markers. That's flying.
Who else? No.
Taking
Can't
our
have a
show
coffee with him.
back to the 90s. Let's go to Ralphie. Ralphie.